TechPB. I'm here with Sergeant Oaks and Sergeant Henson, United States Marine Corps, and we've got quite a few MilSim markers, and what those are basically military simulation. This is paintball's answer to the players that are trying to get the most military feel possible for their, when they're out there playing. Now, have you folks played paintball before? Have either one of you actually played paintball? Or
no.
No, never even tried. Okay, good. That's a good thing. Now, I've lined up quite a few of paintball's top-of-the-line markers for the MilSim market. And basically what I would just like you folks to do is kind of take a look at them, see what you like about them, see what you would change, and kind of go at the perspective of, if your superior grabbed you this and handed this to you and said, okay, I want you to go out and drill with this, what are some of the things that you would change? What are the things that feel familiar? What are the things that feel really alien? So, so what we'll do is we'll start off with this one. This is actually Smart Parts SP1. Now this one retails for about $150 is what this marker retails for. A lot of people really like it. This is probably one of the best entry-level MilSim markers that are out there. And if you could just kind of take a look at it, see what you think of it. How does it feel in terms of feel?
Well, the first thing is what I saw is generally on our weapons we have a buttstock, obviously, for shoulder pressure when we're firing.
Okay.
You can't really get shoulder pressure when you have the tank here.
Correct.
Just from what I'm seeing. So if there's a weapon, for instance, it's got a, the next one we're going to look at, it's got a collapsible buttstock. Mm-hmm. You have a little bit more shoulder pressure, so that way when you're firing, you can kind of pull it into you.
Okay.
So it's a little bit tighter. Other than that, I mean, it's lightweight to me. Maneuverability, it's small. So when you go into maybe like a urban environment, mm-hmm.
It's
a little bit better because you don't have a long extended barrel, right, like our the M16s do.
But for not having a buttstock, it's got a long barrel. You'd think for being a smaller weapon with no buttstock, a couple barrels in small pieces. I know some trigger arms have a curve to it. So finger bolts we use the finger guard here. It collapses down, so you could actually put the longer trigger or whatever in here if you wanted to, and you could. I mean, this kind of would get in the way if you're trying to get around things. But ours come down just in case we need to get it out of the way. We got gloves on or something like that.
One other thing is, from what I saw, is obviously the way our shooting style is, the way we look over what we call iron sights, which is the sights up on top. It's the hopper that's on top. It's big, bulky.
Right.
Yeah. So to me, when I want to look, at my field of fire, whoever I'm shooting at. This is going to be in my mind's eye. It's going to be my peripheral, right. So it kind of might, distract you a little bit from.
Yeah, you can't really
fire.
You kind of have to hold off to the side or.
Now in paintball, just so you know, they actually have packs that you can actually put bottles into and run a hose like you see at the bottom that goes right into here, and they do have the stocks that come out of the back.
Well, that'd be a lot better.
And they even have there's a couple loader options called the Q loader. It's kind of big. It mounts on the side. All it does is it goes directly from the side, and that way you can kind of get an over-the-top sight view on it.
Yeah.
So,
if we were gonna use these for training or whatever, that's what we'd want, because even when when you're anywhere you are in the world, if you're going into combat, very rarely are you actually going to use your sights except for long-range shots. You can go over and straight with a barrel and you're going at it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. The next one we'll pick up here. This is, and getting into what I was talking about with the coil, I'm going to show this to you with the tank on there and without it. This is the Ben Titman TM7. This one retails for about $300, about $350, I believe. And what they've done to try to make up for the hopper being directly on top is they've mounted it over to the side.
They offset it. So
that you can kind of see down the sights there. So tell me what you folks think of that one.
I like the collapsible buttstock on this so far. The only thing is the way we're taught to hold the weapon with shoulder pressure, meaning when you fire with the recoil of the weapon, you want to have nice tight shoulder pressure by pulling it back into your shoulder. But obviously not. I would assume you want to have obviously as much kick as a live rounds. But for right now with shoulder pressure, it's awkward still because of this tank.
Right.
So yes, if you could put it in your pack, it'd be a lot better because that way you can roll your arms in and squeeze the weapon into you, so you have more control. So that's the way we're taught. And then with the collapsible forward grip here,
it's on the rail system too, which is nice because you can mount it on the sides or wherever you want it.
Yeah, and like for me, like I noticed on some of the weapons we're gonna be looking at, there's a little bit longer of a forward grip, which is nicer because like my hands are small, so this is okay. almost. I mean, my hand still grips the button to collapse it,
right.
So which makes it awkward. So if it was a little bit longer to where my hand, you know, right now if I try to short stock it, my pinky's coming off of it. So,
right.
But obviously it's nice and light, shorter barrel. So if you're doing a close quarters, this is great. I mean, it's, you know, you're real close with your, you know, your opponent. You don't have nothing too bulky. So that way, if you're coming around a corner, you know, they're not going to see your barrel first. You know, you're going to be popping out with your weapon. So.
Very cool. And what I'll do is, after you're done kind of feeling that gun out, I'm going to pull the tank off, and then we'll see how it feels without the tank on there.
Yeah, I do like how it has the different positions for the buttstock. It's not just in or out. You can kind of change it. So if you didn't have your bottle on there, you know, and you're coming into somewhere close, you can keep it in tight and get around because it's a nice short barrel on it. But well, like again, the rail system's nice. You can put other stuff on there. You can put, you know, a flashlight or you can put a bipod or whatever you want on it. Which for this weapon you really wouldn't need a bipod. But also this one has the single fire, you know, 3-round burst or full auto on it, which is nice to have because, you know, if you just want to pop out and get 3 rounds out real quick and hope and pray, then it's better to do it that way than just try to go out and pull the trigger 3 times.
Right, right. What I'll do is I'll pull the tank off, and like I told you, there is it's what the paintball players call the remote system, and it's where they put the tank in their backpack, and then what they do is they run a hose out, and basically it's just a hose that goes right in here. So
same connector as that right there.
Yeah, same exact connector and everything.
How's the weight on it?
It's front heavy now, yeah. But with the collapsible buttstock though, I mean, you can keep that shoulder pressure and the forward grip so you can pull it back into you. But right now, I think it's like top heavy because you got the hopper. But it's still nice.
It actually gets a lot heavier once you actually put paint in here. This is going to add about another 2 pounds on top here.
Well, when you mentioned that you can, you know, still look through here when they offset the hopper, I like it better than that. Just for simple, you know, it is offsetted so you could still come in. You don't have to tilt your head.
Yeah. Even if you don't have it pulled in tight and you're coming around the corner real quick, you can still look over the barrel, and it's got a semi-sight aperture on it. There's not, I mean, it's not nothing too fancy, but it's not really needed. But it's nice because you can actually come in, you can actually look over the barrel and you see where they kind of carved this out right here, so you can see through it.
How's it with your hands on the front?
So
would you find that button that's there on the front kind of a nuisance? Is that
no, because I have no problem with it. I just put my hand in, and it is a little short, but that's because you don't have much stock up here. But I mean, I'd use it. I'd have my thumb put up in here anywhere where it's cut out.
Gotcha.
So I mean, that's what I'd be holding it. My fingers would kind of be free.
I mean, we learn to make do with less. So I mean, hey. But I mean, it would be nice. I mean, if in a perfect world, if it could be a little bit longer.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, comfortability when you're playing. I mean, you want that to be the last thing on your mind.
Yeah.
Especially you know when you're in combat, you don't want to be your equipment to be, you know, faulty.
And actually, it collapses down enough that it's damn near handgun style.
Yeah.
So
we'll move on to the next one here.
All right. Now
this one's actually a brand new market. It just hit the market. This is named by a gentleman named Bob Long. This marker here retails for, I believe, right around about $1,000.
Wow.
Pretty intense market. They really tried to make this feel familiar in terms of the weight. It does have the stock option right here where you can, you know, put a stock out the back and also do a remote line. So take a look at that one and see how that feels.
Wow, the weight is phenomenally, like, totally different than the other two.
This one if this one had that hand grip on it on the front, right, it'd be a huge difference because it's a little bit longer weapon. You'd actually be able to maneuver better with it.
And the thing what's good with the forward grips is, say you're in a prone position, which is, you know, laying down, and instead of putting your hand, because what we do is with the M16s, if there's no forward grip, you kind of grab the front of the stock.
Right.
But if you have forward grip and you're laying down, you can push your elbows up and still keep shoulder pressure as you're laying in the prone. So
does that
that's
also
nice.
help get the sights up a little higher if you're up on your elbows a little?
That's how you adjust your body. If your elbows are out farther, obviously it's going to be lower. But if you start moving up and posting up on your elbows, obviously you're going to raise your elevation.
Raise the barrel up some, yeah.
Okay. So, but yeah, I mean the weight of this is totally different than the other two. It's a little bit heavier.
Yeah, it's really back heavy too.
Well, I mean, to take this off,
that's because of the tank. But yeah, this tank is in a funny place. If it was down a little bit, or I mean, if it was gonna be attached and it had down at a 45, you'd be all right. But where it's at, your elbow's gonna stick out, or you got to shoot at a funny angle, or you got to raise it up above your ear. You know, and so if you put a buttstock on it, you're hitting yourself in the face with it.
Right.
So where this one is those weren't as bad, but with this one, it's noticeably uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But this one's got the same thing.
The hopper is offset too.
Yeah, it's got the offset hopper, and there's no sights on this. But like I said, the barrel anyway.
I think what I like about these two with the hopper offsetted is because for us, obviously, we don't want to make ourselves become a target. Right. We want to be as small as possible. But if say we're using these for simunitions, with the hopper offsetted, we don't have to move our head left or right. So therefore, we're not coming out of our shooting posture. We're able to stay exactly, nice and tight, and you can still look down the barrel. So I like that a lot better than the first one with the hopper in the center.
Charging handle.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So throw a little bit of reality in there.
Yeah.
That's nice. I like the design of it too. I mean,
it's got the rail system here too. But even if you're not using it, it's still got a semi hand grip here, so you can hold on to it.
Yeah.
But if you had a forward hand grip here, it'd be nice.
Very nice. Very nice. These cards, they've been on the market for a little while, but they've just come out with this new paintball round called the First Strike, and basically they're taking taking the paintballs, and basically putting almost like
rifle,
basically fins on the back of it.
It's backwards rifling.
Instead
of being rifled in the barrel, it's rifled around.
But this is the T9, and obviously you can see there's quite a few accessories in here. This is something it's a prototype, and what they're trying to do is to compensate for, obviously, when you're shooting paintballs, they're only coming out at 300 feet per second as opposed to, what's M203 come out, 1800?
Something.
Depends
on who packs your rounds.
Or how clean your weapon is.
Yeah.
That's it.
But to compensate for it, obviously these rounds you still have more distance, but they're still coming out at the same speed.
Yeah.
They put this wedge in here. I believe it's like a 10 or a 15 degree wedge. So as you're aiming, as you're looking out the scope, it naturally races it up for you.
Okay.
But, really neat market made by a small company, Tiberius T9. These run for about $500.
This is the same weapon, correct? Same thing?
Yeah, it's the same thing, just this one just doesn't have a butt stock. Right.
The problem what I foresee like this is the same thing I was talking about, staying in, for us, we want to stay in, once we get in our shooting posture, we want to keep it that way. We want to stay that way. You don't want to have to come out of your norm and change up kind of your battle plan. But if they could take this wedge out and have the tack rail on top just like those, and put the elevation, correct, just like this, and then be able to have an elevation mechanism, meaning you can, like, say you turn it on the front here or in the back to raise the scope up and down for your eye view, instead of, like right now, I can't see through the scope. I have to raise my head up off the buttstock, and when I'm down in here in my shooting posture, it's nice and tight. But I have to come up out of my norm to look through to be able to see through the scope.
It's like the old style M16A2s. It's got the wrist guard aperture that raises and closes.
Yeah, correct.
Even if you use something like that just to ramp it up and down, would be fine, because all you have is numbers on the side. You can kind of tell you know, your distance off that. Hey, I'm gonna be at this yardage. Tune it up or whatever.
This is a prototype, so maybe something that maybe they did this on like some sort of a scissor pivot, where you can kind of raise it up slightly.
Yeah, correct.
Torque it. Yeah.
And then also these bipods, they don't flex back and forth, right?
Collapsible, no.
Yeah,
they rock up and they rock down, but
meaning like if I'm in a shooting position right here, if I'm in my shooting position, and what you'll have is tend to be moving back and forth, and if I put too much weight on it, you don't want to snap something, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because ours are like, we have springs, so they'll move with you.
It'll move back.
Because if I'm moving with my target, and right now there's really no pivot in it, and what if you catch it on the ground, it'll rip it.
Right.
So
this doesn't rotate very much. Ours will spin 360 degrees, so when you're sitting there, you can move your weapon. I mean, this does rotate to a point, but it's not free.
Gotcha.
So, and ours also, you can squeeze them together and lock them up, and it's done. But with the new M4s, the hand grip, this one's got the faux hand grip, I guess. It's got the bipod look to it, but our hand grips actually have a bipod is in the hand grip.
Oh.
You turn this and the bipod pops out, and you
cool.
can use it as a bipod, and then so you're on the ground shooting, just pack it in, you're going, then you got a hand grip and you're on your way.
Wow. Okay. Good. Well, that'd be good to know for people that may not want to invest in. Obviously this is kept a little bit on the inexpensive side, but the people that are wanting the real stuff, invest in that more expensive stuff, because that option is available. You get a bipod, or like you said, this hand grip right here, it can spring out, or you can get the more expensive bipod there that's going to move with you as your target's moving.
now I like the scope. I mean, it's clear. I'm looking through it. It's it's not cloudy at all.
Got a different scope than I have.
Is it different? I think you just have a cap on the back, right? Now, just for kind of G2 knowledge, is can you take this scope off and use it like do they make any other aftermarket scope?
They do make red dots.
Okay.
Pretty much the sky's the limit. Yeah, they can
Okay, good.
make red dots.
What about an actual rifle scope? Will it mount?
I believe you can pick up just standard.
I mean, 'cause it's a tack,
universal sights.
rail, so.
Yeah, I believe you can pick up just standard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. These little bolts right here just come right off, and the scope, pops right off. So
it slides right off the railing. Just done. Yeah, this is just like the M4's buttstock.
The only thing I don't like about, go ahead and collapse that all the way through.
Does this? It does lock down halfway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like right here.
Yeah, it sticks out.
It sticks out. So therefore, when we're applying that shoulder pressure again, you're going to dig that in your shoulder.
Instead of being flat against your shoulder, you're digging right in there to the top of the button.
Like I was talking about equipment, if it's faulty or if there's something that's going to bother you, and if this keeps digging in, you might not be thinking of the game, thinking of the fight, and your mind starts, like, oh, I'm uncomfortable, and you get shot. So, I mean, you're only going to get shot once in combat, and then basically
it locks flat. But if you're just real quick trying to slam it down, that's what you get. Is that knob.
Yep.
But
it's just one extra thing to pay attention to that maybe they can realize.
But I like it. It gets comfortable to me. It feels like it's little, in the hand grips, it's huge, but that's because that's where you load the magazine.
Not only are you putting the CO2 cartridge in there, which is the propellant, you're also putting the paintball rounds in there as well.
Yeah, because the hand grip's huge, but so if you got small hands, you're out of luck with this weapon.
Yeah.
but I got big hands, so it's easy for me. But
mongoloid hands.
Yeah, but you got little girl hands. I'm surprised you can hold it.
Hey. So okay, now with the magazine, how many rounds does it hold?
I believe it holds 8.
8. Okay.
Right.
We were talking about this before when we were kind of looking at it. Say we were using this for munitions for our training exercises, whatever. Now, if the CO2 cartridge, runs out, and obviously you have to change it, and if you're in the middle of an exercise, we obviously want something that's quick reload, which I would assume paintball and everybody would. So, how quick is this to pop a CO2 and pop a new one in?
Well, this one, actually, these designed by Tiberius, these are actually holding the charge.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool. So if I've got a couple of them here. These actually will hold the charge. Even though you only get 8 shots here, you'll be able to fill this up, 4 or 5 times?
Oh, okay.
4 times. So this gets about 32 shots. So probably you'd fill this up probably 3 times. You wouldn't want to use it any more than that.
But you wouldn't. Filling magazines on the battlefield's not my priority.
Yeah.
I'd have about 10 magazines packed away, ready to go.
Yeah.
Now, what about durability? For instance, if we're out there, because Marines, we're gonna be tough on it on this equipment. So, and if we're running in the woods,
how's dirt?
Well, dirt and also the rounds. Are they gonna bust in here? I mean, is this a pretty smooth?
Yeah, I mean it's they should be pretty durable. The worst thing that'll happen, I believe, is if you hit it hard enough, the rounds may eject out of the top.
Okay.
And that's probably the worst thing that's going to happen. But for the most part, this is not plastic. This is all aluminum construction, and they built these things. They build these things to be tossed around. So I mean, there may get a little bit of dirt in here. For the most part, it's just going to blow it out of the paintball gun. But for the most part, I mean, these are built pretty durable. So
okay.
Yeah.
Confused?
No, what's nice is if I was out there, I'd be completely confused because I'd be looking like this one for a magazine. I'd be pulling a magazine out. I'm like, what?
Here's a magic marker.
It'd be completely backwards because I'm going in the hand grip instead of forward of the hand grip.
Right.
I'd be trying to shove it in the front handle. I'm like, that doesn't fit in there.
Hear that a lot?
For a while. Yeah.
Well, here's the this is a company called Real Paintball. RAP4 is what they're called. This is their T68. 68 is the caliber of paintball, and this is basically they basically tried to make this as close as they possibly could to an M4 or an M16. So obviously you've got the magazine that drops out here.
Nice.
With the clear one you can see. You spin this here to preload it, then you just put all the rounds in here. They lock right into the gun, like so, and that's it.
How many rounds does that hold?
I believe that holds 18.
Let's go. Ours hold 30, but 18. If you can't get it with 18, then
yeah. And this is actually where they hide Where here we're using the CO2 cartridges.
Yeah. Okay.
This is actually the tank, and what they did was they built a little bar here that holds the buttstock on.
So you can extend the buttstock.
Yeah, but
correct.
Here's the. Cause basically what we would do is say I want to extend the buttstock. We're gonna push it and pull it real hard. Well, if you do that, it pops off. So it's kind of
as far as it can go. And you just have another release on to actually release it off the bottom.
maybe another push button on the back to get that last locking mechanism to pop it off to. But yeah, for instance, I mean, if we need to do it quick, it might just pop off right away.
Yeah,
but
just throw it over your shoulder.
So the weight, I mean, pretty realistic. Trying to look through the iron sights though, with how big this back is with the tank here. If we can if there could be like a tack rail, or again another. Yeah, I know I was about to clear the weapon. Go figure, right? Brainwashing. Anyways, like put another tack rail here or something to where it raises the elevation of the sights.
Right.
Well, this has got the old style sights that actually has the working rear sight aperture.
No, but what I'm meaning, like right now, if you put your chin on the buttstock,
you can't see.
You can't see. Like right now, I'm looking over top the rear sight aperture to the front sight post.
You're also going to be wearing a mask, which is
true. So they're more elevation. So if you could, if maybe elongate the this a little bit. I mean, it's obviously not going to look the same, and then raise this up to where if they actually want to sit there, lay in the prone or any shooting position, and actually kind of try to dial in, then it'll be good. So
you got a pen or anything? Does this front sight
rotate?
Does it actually work?
How does
it functioning? Because if it's functioning,
you can raise the elevation.
You can actually dial your sights in. So if you want to do precision shots and you get good at it, then you can actually do that. But if it looks like, because it's got a recession here where it would normally be in, and it looks like it rotates to me, but I can't tell just by looking at it.
Maybe.
Because then you could actually set your sights up and you can actually use your sights if you want to, if you got distance to shoot to kind of get on target.
Oh, cool.
But because this rear sight, this whole handle here is the same exact thing we use. There's no difference in it. Everything works properly.
Very good.
So it's nice. This kind of confuses you though.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Your forward assist.
Forward assist. It doesn't work properly. But
let me see
But yeah, it's
pop out the magazine. Do a quick reload.
It's a little heavy on the back end of it.
Yeah.
Oh, with the tube.
Yeah. But that's about the right place, because that's when I'm firing the M16 or the M4. That's pretty much when I reach out with my finger, I can hit that release. It's right there. But I'm also used to having the safety right here.
Right.
If they had the click turn safety instead of just a push safe,
do
the click turn here, it'd be easy because it's easy to come up. You're flipping right here, and then you can just reload, do what you got to do, pull another magazine out, load it back in, and get to it again.
Very cool.
So
it sounds like as we went and covered these, obviously, the people that are trying to get the most out of their MilSim marker, trying to get the absolute best feel. Obviously, a top loading hopper is not going to be the way to go.
No,
because that's obviously in the way. It's going to feel completely alien. The tank's also a good idea to put it in a remote line to try to take as much advantage of the stocks as possible.
Yeah, definitely. This isn't a bad idea. It's a little bulky, but it's not a bad idea. But like the magazines, these magazines are obviously larger than the magazines we use.
Right.
So they're a little bit harder to grab. But the cool thing is if they could make it down to the size of our magazines, there's equipment that you can hook two of these together.
Gotcha.
So all you got to do is and put the other one in.
Yeah,
so
or just modify equipment to hook those together.
Yeah,
so
you could do that. So you have two magazines. So once one's empty, all you do is drop it, switch it over, and put it back in.
Wow.
Save you a lot of time. But they're kind of large in the front. The hand grip in the front here, it's large. And it's
very large. Yeah.
This is more like the M16A2 hand grip. Now the M4s have this rail system like this. There's 4 rails on it, so you can hook any accessory you want.
So you can still have a forward grip.
Yeah, so you can have a
all the way through back. Yeah.
It's like this, but it's on all 4 sides, and it's so you can have a hand grip, or you can have a flash, or you can have a bipod, or you can have a laser sight, or whatever you're wanting, you can put on there.
Right.
So it's kind of nice. It's kind of functional. This is the older style, and it's huge. And does this slip ring actually work? No, it doesn't. And
it's kind of all held in place like a clamshell. The top and the bottom kind of come together.
And the ones we have a slip ring. You pop that down, you can take the hand grips off, clean it real good, change out hand grips. Because if you break this, what are you going to do?
Right.
You're pretty much out of luck. I guess you could change it out if you wanted to, but if you had a slip ring, then all you could do is put a new one on there and you're done. It might cost you a few bucks, but it's better than buying a whole new weapon.
Right.
But
very cool.
But overall, if I was
I like it.
Yeah, if I was gonna go play around, this is probably my choice because I'm comfortable with it. So. The only thing is the trigger on this is kind of funny. But like I said before, our triggers it has a flip down. So if you're going out there with gloves on, it'd be hard to fit your finger in there with gloves unless they're real thin gloves.
Right.
So then if you want, you can flip that down, hold it down with this finger, and you can get your finger in and out of there without having to fight the trigger guard.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, what we're going to do is I'd love to have you guys back on TechPB. There's a lot of people that have a lot of questions about team tactics in the woods and stuff like that. There's a lot of scenario games, like there's one here in Florida at Camp Blanding up north of here. A lot of teams go out there.
We do a lot of training at Camp Blanding.
Do you? Okay, yeah.
I'm very familiar with those woods.
Yeah. So, I'd love to have you guys back on and, maybe open it up to the viewers.
Definitely.
And to put in some questions, and then what I'll do is I'll have you guys back on, and what we'll do is maybe go out into the woods. We also have a nice little little town that's over there that's getting built, and have you guys back over there, and we can talk about a little bit about team tactics and stuff like that.
Run some scenarios.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, Sergeant Henson, I really appreciate your time.
Not a problem.
Sergeant Oaks, thank you very much.
Thank you.